What's up YouTube, this is Ringo from Sphere, and today I am going to record a video talking about TOK as usual. A lot of you guys have been asking me, should I need a structure? I mean, a lot of you guys seen the paid video and it's asking me this same recurring question. Where's the structure? How do I structure my essay? And let me tell you, the reason why I recorded the essay in other videos in how to write the essay as it is I do not want you to have a specific structure in mind when you initially write this. This is totally counterintuitive. Yes, I know. As a geography teacher, I always tell my students, write, have an essay plan, have a, plan on what you're going to talk about, put it on the introduction. But for TOK, I believe it's something different. You really need to think about what does not limit your imagination. Okay, so that is why when I teach my students, never to generate the knowledge question first. Yes, I know some teachers or whatever, they're gonna say, that's not right. You should have a knowledge question and you should follow on with your knowledge question. Yes, that's a method, but that's not a method that I would use. The reason being that the knowledge question you can generate, but then sometimes those knowledge questions are pretty crap, and chances are it's just going to limit your imagination. It's just going to limit your creativity in writing the essay. So what I believe you guys should do, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the structure in this video, is how we should approach that TOK essay. When you just sit down and you look at the question, you're like confused about the question, that's totally fine. But here's what I want you to do. When you first read the question, in any question, no matter it's the first one, second one, or the sixth one, you have to really think about what is the knowledge we're looking for. All knowledge question has to do with something to do with knowledge, like quality of knowledge, measuring knowledge, some whatever knowledge, patterns in knowledge, these sort of stuff. You really need to keep that in mind. I need to address this knowledge. So when I first think about the definition of, for example, quality of knowledge or the production of knowledge, you really have to tell me, what is that definition? Not just what's the definition of knowledge, where everyone tells me that is to justify true belief. I want to know, what does it mean by quality of knowledge or the production of knowledge? Who produced knowledge? What is production of knowledge? How is it different from just knowing or acquiring knowledge? That is something that you have to keep in mind. Secondly, you have to look at what the comparison words is in some of these questions. For example, the word best meant that you're comparing, okay? Whereas other words such as, explain or discuss, these sort of stuff, you have to really address those key concepts. Then my font would hold on right there. I would just go and define the question. And then after I define the question, I'll think about my first area of knowledge. Yes, the first area of knowledge. A lot of students ask, do I have to take that subject in order to write that areas of knowledge? The answer is no. That's a simple answer. And a lot of teachers are like, you should really, you don't take arts, you shouldn't write about arts. You don't take science, you should not write about science. Who in the world takes ethics as an IB subject? It isn't even a subject. So that's one reason that doesn't matter. And the second thing is indigenous knowledge. Who learns indigenous knowledge in school? It doesn't matter what areas of knowledge. As long as you are able to understand the key basis of how knowledge is acquired in that area of knowledge. For example, for natural science, the way we acquire knowledge a lot of the time, or the nature of natural science, is the concept of hypothesis testing, reasoning. These are the key features that we have in identifying what knowledge is. And in the arts, what is knowledge? Is it because of the stuff that the artist trying to let us know, or is it the perceiver? For math, is it just a simple pattern seeking, or is it inventing some new formulas? We don't know. For human science, could it be because emotion governs our knowledge, or is it because of social norms, societal changes, all these sort of stuff? That is something that you have to consider when we're looking at this. Now, then after understanding the first area of knowledge, I would hold on to one example. If you can do one example is good. If you can't do one example, do two. But have two that are related. I really don't want to read an essay having this kind of confirmation bias where you have your argument and you just, pick different example that fits your argument. That's not what TOK wants. That's not what critical analysis meant. Okay? To show different perspective, I would suggest that you have one theme for the example. For example, if I'm looking at natural science, I could talk about the concept of inheritance from the Mendel's theory, followed by DNA structure, human genome project. It's all in the spectrum of that idea. Okay, and using those, we use different perspective to tackle this theme of ideas and example, so that you will be able to show the examiner that you are thinking and you're not just like a hunter and gatherer trying to find things or cherry pick the stuff that fits your example, all right, or fits your argument. So that is something interesting. And I mean, you can repeat the same for the other areas of knowledge. Now the question is, how do we get an A? Well, to get an A, that's a very much more difficult question to answer, because the two areas of knowledge, you really need to be able to show some contrast in the argument. And after you actually contrast those arguments, there is a paragraph just, before the conclusion part where you kind of talk about a comparison in how areas of knowledge in one or the areas of knowledge in two, how do they argue? How do they contrast, and what is the key features that you have learned, you have identified that can help you answer back the prescribed title? So brings us to the next question, knowledge question. After you have actually talked about some of the ideas, now you regenerate those knowledge questions that is able to link the ideas that you're in the bulk of your essay, the first AOK and the second AOK. So usually I would tell my student, put in 2 of 3. Some knowledge question may only be able to address one area of knowledge, whilst others, if you can think about it, it goes through the whole essay, addressing both area of knowledge. Now, another question I get asked a lot is, do we need to take a stance? Should we take a stance? My answer is, it doesn't matter. A lot of teachers says you need to, then go for it. Doesn't matter. If you don't need to, then you don't need to. So because remember, your teacher is giving you the predicted grade. So, just kind of say, okay, if they want it, that's fine. I mean, as the marking scheme has suggested, it really doesn't matter. It never says state your stance. Student must choose their stance. It doesn't say that. So you could do it, you don't have to do it. But the key is that you still have to address the question. If the question asks to what extent, then you have to answer to a large extent. But if the question just says a statement and says discuss using 2 areas of knowledge, you could state your claim as something you agree or you disagree with the claim. You could do that. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So, but in the end, I do want you to give me a condition. Okay, there may be sometimes that there is a condition that you agree with the claim and state the condition out in the conclusion. So we know that after you have evaluated every single point, you will able to generate some sort of decision on your own about how this statement or the prescribed title may be true in some case, but not in others. So that is how you should actually approach a TOK essay. All right. So hope this videos answer some of your questions, because I know it's frustrating. I know it's difficult. I mean, TOK essay, and the structure could be different for everyone, but this is my take on the structure, and I want to share this with you guys so that you guys have a much more constructive understanding instead of just going through formulas. I have to state the introduction and then knowledge question and stuff. So yeah, I don't want you to be bounded by a structure. So when some of my students comes to me for a lesson and say, oh, come on, Ringo, can give me the structure. But I would say, hold up. Let's not look at the structure yet. Let's look at the ideas first. So that's it. hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope it helped. And remember to hit the like, subscribe, and if you guys need any help, you guys can check out my website. There's some resource on there, especially the paid video for the TOK question 1 and question 2 of the 2019 May. So that's it. Peace out for now. And if you're from the Hong Kong region, feel free to contact me, and we can set up some tuition time, and I have many tutors that are capable of teaching different subjects. Anyway, peace out for now. Bye bye.